Hello friends, Jen here, and we are finally back with part 2 of the family rentals. I don't know what else to call them. It's not really a duplex. It's two separate houses on one lot. So the story was that these were two separate houses, two separate lots, if you haven't watched the first video yet. And the house that you can see in the background there was never really updated. It has the old, like early 1920s, early mid 1920s floor plan and some wallpapers and things left over from the 70s. There were just minor updates over the years, like new wood flooring, that kind of stuff, but nothing really major. This house, on the other hand, the family who previously owned it did some pretty significant renovations to it. They completely changed the layout of the house except for the bathroom and the kitchen. They changed all the windows. They moved the back door over a little bit. They enlarged the back deck. As you'll see here in a minute, the same basic shape on the outside stayed, but it's almost like it's a completely different house from the other one where they both started out identical in their lives. So in the first house, I believe I set it up for two children with the possibility that it could be a child and a toddler, or if you worked it around right, maybe a child and a teenager, but mostly very child oriented. This one is a little bit less child oriented, but I did do a nursery. And I did put some infant related things around the house as well. So, this one's more of a grow into it rather than an already established family home with all the kids stuff and the kids and, everything already there for you. This one's more if you want to start out with just a couple of Sims and have them have a baby in game, rather than creating the children in CAS. That makes sense, right? I hope it does. Anyways, this one is definitely, I know I said they updated it, but when I got started, I just felt really, really inspired to go super modern. So they didn't just update it, they like completely changed it. It is very, very modern leaning with a lot of very modern furniture and the whole 9 yards. Like, I went all out with this one. This used to be a style that I really, really loved. And I mean, there are very few styles that I truly hate, except maybe primitive country, which I don't think anybody really likes anymore. But other than that, I don't think there's truly a style that I absolutely hate. There are just some styles that I would never put in my own home, like anything farmhouse or country like. And I definitely wouldn't go super traditional either. Like, I might be okay mixing some traditional items in here and there. And so I think I lean more transitional, neither really overly modern nor overly traditional either. And I love looking at houses that are in the sort of contemporary style, but I'm not sure I would ever want to live in one myself. But that's what's the beauty of The Sims 4. You can play around with all these different styles, and number one, you can make them your own. And number two, you can see what you really like by creating it in The Sims 4 first. That's what I love about building in The Sims 4. This shelf gave me so much trouble. Some things would snap, other things would not, even though they were exactly the same size items. And some things would snap in areas that other things wouldn't. This shelf and desk has so many different snapping points to it that it was really really frustrating when I was trying to do it, but in the end, I think it ended up really, really cute. I really like it. It did not start out a very modern desk, but by the end, I was able to, I personally think, pull it off and make it look good and modern and all that. The other thing is I love having mirrors in entryways. But the mirrors in The Sims 4 are so annoying because they're really high or they're really long mirrors. And so it makes it hard to use them in entryways effectively. And other than the baby related stuff, I tried to stay as mostly monochromatic. Also, that plant gave me a lot of trouble too. It is like a brief 2 seconds in the video, but in game, it was a lot longer than 2 seconds to get that plant to look like it was sitting on that ledge like that. And then I covered it up with a curtain, and I didn't even realize that until just now. I'm awesome. Anyways, I tried to stay as mostly monochromatic as I could get it, leaning heavily on black and white with obviously like the brown from the floors and stuff in there, and then a little bit of gray blue as well because it fit in really well with the black, but also gave it a little bit of color, not a ton. So while I wouldn't necessarily call this monochromatic, like fully monochromatic, it does heavily lean that way in the main part of the house here, in the bathroom, and in the parents' bedroom. Now, the nursery is absolutely completely the opposite. That I just went all out and made it very cute and colorful and kid friendly, and I gave it all the fun stuff. So it's definitely different from the rest of the house, but I kept it sort of in line in that sort of modern style so it didn't look too what's the word I'm looking for, like gaudy and out of place. There's a lot of weird random cuts in this video because I started and stopped this house so many times over the last few days. I had some doctor stuff I had to take care of last week, and I don't know, I don't like doing doctor stuff, and so it always takes me a few days afterwards to reorient myself, if you will, back into normal life, if there is such a thing. But yeah, the next couple of weeks are gonna have a little bit of doctor stuff too, but not as much. This last week was a little bit overwhelming in that we had 3 days worth of appointments that we had to be, two of them I had to be up really early for me, I should say, for, and so that was half the battle right there, was just getting up and getting moving really early in the morning. So it took me a little bit longer than it probably should have to get this house finished, considering it's a modern house, and so it's more simplistic and easier to decorate quicker, if that makes sense. And some of it was I was just being lazy. I was just like not wanting to do anything over the weekend, honestly. So that height chair that you just saw, I have learned multiple times that Sims will not put the toddlers or the infants in the high chair if it's snapped to the table. They just will not. And it feels like it's been that way since the beginning. So rather than have it snap to the table, I turned it to the side. It continued to want to snap to the table. So I snapped one to the table, turned it to the side, and just kind of put it close to the table because there was nowhere else to put it. And I kind of liked it in that spot, but I wanted them to be able to use it. So here's the nursery, and like I said, very bright and fun and colorful. But then we get back to the parents' room, which very much stays in line with the colors of the rest of the house and very much stays in line with the style. Not that the nursery didn't stay in line with the style. I think a lot of the stuff from Growing Together for babies is very modern or traditional updated, so it works well. Oh, yeah, and a couple of things I should mention really quick with the last few minutes of video that we have on the speed build part. Go check out my community tab. There is a malware script that has been added to a bunch of Sims 4 mods, and a lot of people could be affected by it. I explain the whole thing on the community tab, so go check that out on the community tab. And number two, I do use move objects on a lot, and I've been noticing lately that when I upload my lots to the gallery, a lot of items on my lots disappear because I'm using move objects on. The best solution that I have found is most people find that if they turn move objects on first before downloading the lot and placing it in their game, those items will not disappear. Unfortunately, I've been having in my own game items disappear even when not uploaded and then re-downloaded. I always fix those before I upload it to the gallery, but that doesn't stop them from disappearing on the gallery or as you're downloading them. So I can't guarantee that items won't be missing. And again, the only solution is to turn move objects on before placing the lots, and that will solve some of it. But when it deletes the items as I'm uploading, there's not much I can do about that. I can take the lot down from the gallery and re-upload it, but then, we might have an issue where other items disappear or more items disappear. So I like to not mess with it too much. And there you have it. Let's go to the walkthrough now. Like always, we're walking in through the front door and just kind of checking out the very simple landscaping on this one and the front porch. I love doing these walkthroughs because I think you get a much better sense of what these places look like, what my houses look like and stuff, when you get to see it from a first person or Sims perspective like this. And it just looks a lot nicer this way. The little this is what I think is traditionally called a great room. So it's basically all your main rooms in one, but because it's also just a 2-bedroom house, I made a little makeshift office area there as well. And then they have their little back deck overlooking I forget what it's called, like the canal area. And then the parents' bedroom. I really like this bedroom. It's very calm and cozy. And then we'll head over to the nursery here. And this is a fun nursery. Stays modern, but is very bright and colorful and happy. I love it. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you for another one soon. Bye.